Do you feel like there's a gap separating you from who you are to who you want to be? Or the life that you're currently living from the life that you wish to live? Do you wonder if there's a way for you to step over that gap without having to go through years and years of therapy and trauma release and going to various retreats and all these things, only to feel like you haven't made any progress at all? Like you're right back where you started, and you just keep spinning your wheels, going through these cycles, not able to step out. Because ultimately, when we make changes in life, it has to do with not our beliefs, not even the things necessarily that we think or that we do, but how we see ourselves, our sense of identity. And if you stick with me here, I will help you to be able to shift and step out of that temporarily to step into a new version of yourself and into the version that you want to be. I'm Cody, and I help people to activate their divine consciousness codes that will ignite their heart ablaze and open the door to limitless possibilities. So what I want to discuss here involves our identity, involves shifting how we perceive ourselves so that we can shift how we live our lives. Because until we shift our identity, until we learn to shift how we see ourselves and the lens that we perceive our reality through, we are only going to continue to repeat the same cycles over and over again. It's a pattern, a cycle, that if we do not break it, we will not be able to step into something new. And the best way for us to break that is to shift our identity and shift how we see ourselves. We do this in a number of different ways. Most people think that the best way to create change is to change their beliefs and to change their thoughts, and then eventually their identity will change. But they got it backwards. Because we cannot create something new. We cannot step out of something new while we have the mold of the old. While we have this old identity that we are attached to, this old version of ourselves that we see ourselves as. Because every action, every thought that we take, regardless if it's a new action that we've taken before, if that doesn't align with how we see ourselves, then it's not going to stick. So if we try to create a new habit or a new pattern in our life, and we don't perceive that as being part of our identity, then it's not going to stick. We're not going to be able to step into that, because we're still going to be holding on to this old version of ourselves. So think about it like this. A surfer doesn't have to convince himself that he is a surfer. He doesn't have to create this identity, this new identity, in order to step into that. He doesn't think, I need to go surf these waves to be a surfer. We cannot step out and do something new so long as we are holding on to this old identity and this old structure. And so what I wanted to talk about was from the book called The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman. The Alter Ego Effect is an incredible book. It helps you to give you the framework of how to step into the version of yourself that you want to be today. And I wanted to go over a few techniques and things that they talked about in this book that I feel like would be very, very beneficial to help you to step into a new version of yourself. One of the most important aspects that I felt like was touched on in the book is something he talked about. There's like two main aspects of ourself. I feel like there are the heroic self and the trapped self. The trapped self is the version of ourselves that isn't able to show up or isn't able to step in. It's the version of ourselves that avoids the issues at hand or creates more problems by lashing out or doing something that is ultimately keeping us stuck. And then on the flip side, the heroic self is the part of us that has stepped into and has embodied these characteristics, has stepped into that courage, and have went out of that box that they've been trapped in to become their true confident self. Just like the superheroes in the movies, they're able to step into that heroic self where they can have the courage to run into a burning building and save somebody, or to fight off the villain, or whatever it may be. You know, they are able to step into that because they have truly embodied those characteristics within themselves. And that's another thing that I want to dive into, which is, what characteristics does this new version of yourself need to have? So whenever we are creating this alter ego, it is important to consider a number of factors. So first off, it's important for us to model somebody that we perceive to have the characteristics that we wish to embody. It could be a celebrity, it could be a family or friend that you know personally, it could be an artist, it could be a historical figure, it could be somebody from an anime or cartoon, it could be anything that you want it to be. So in this case, it is specifically relating to a person, but it could also be about a specific concept or an animal. So maybe there's a certain energy that you wish to embody. So for me, there's certain animals that I've identified with and I've connected with that I'll go into this a little bit more later, but this is touching on the realm of shamanism, where you can go into, and I also did a video on this talking about where you can go into this non-ordinary reality to reconnect with parts of yourself, and also to connect with your spirit and animal guides. So in that way, you are able to not only embody that, but you're able to, if you do delve into the realm of shamanism and you start to work with that within that realm, then you're able to actually go there and connect with that aspect of yourself. But we're going to keep it specific here. So, you can embody an animal, you can embody a person. Like I said, you can embody a certain characteristic or an abstract concept, whatever it may be. So that is creating the characteristics of the alter ego that you wish to embody. The next is to think about what you would want to name that part of yourself. And again, I'm skipping over several things that the book talks about. There's a lot of really good concepts that it goes into, a lot of backstory, a lot of various stories of people that have went through certain trials and tribulations and have utilized the alter egos in order to be able to step into that. And another thing that I want to mention here is that in talking about alter egos, it's easy to think about, if you hear that, you may take it the wrong way, thinking that you are creating a separate identity, so to speak. And what I want to mention here is that we are multi-layered and multi-dimensional beings. And as part of this human experience, we are constantly shifting in and out of different roles, right? So we are constantly playing different roles, mother, father, employee, brother, sister, friend, family. And ideally, the goal is to align ourselves in every one of those, in every aspect of our life, with that core true version of ourselves, to align ourselves with the core of who we are. But what happens most of the time is that we are not able to do this because we have trauma. We have, stories that we've told ourselves. We just have wounding, or we have ancestral trauma even. It could be anything. All these things are going to create blocks or obstacles that will ultimately get in your way and prevent you from stepping into that true version of yourself. So the whole goal of the alter ego effect is to not create or disembody yourself from who you truly are, but rather to step into that version of yourself. Because who is the true alter ego here? Is it Clark Kent or is it Superman? You might think that the alter ego is Superman, but in all reality, the true character, the true core version of that specific individual is Superman. That's who he truly is. He created his alter ego in order to fit in with society, in order to blend in and not be a target. Be a target for people that he loves or people that he's around. So he created this, and that segues into another aspect of being able to create your alter ego, is using certain totems or certain items in order to step into that version of yourself. So Clark Kent uses glasses, and of course he has the whole glasses and the whole attire for the reporter and everything. A way that I would use the alter ego effect is whenever I was doing construction, it was difficult for me to step into that problem-solving capacity, to be able to be motivated and stay on task, and to be able to get the job done in an efficient and timely manner. So what I would do is I bought these glasses. I bought these DeWalt safety glasses from Lowe's, and I would, every time I would put those on before a job, I would envision just like stepping into this aspect of myself where I just go hard, and I just lock right in, and it's like I know what the solutions are. And anytime I would put those on, I would instantly feel that rush of energy coming on. I would feel that circulating through me, and it would start to drive me and propel me and give me the answers that I was looking for while I was doing those jobs. So I wasn't fragmenting from who I was, but I was using this totem or this item as a way to step in and to step into that construction version of myself, to where I could have those solutions to the problems, to where I can show up and I can have that energy and passion and motivation to be able to get the job done in that timely manner. Because I didn't feel like I had that in my regular life, and I was so scattered and overwhelmed, and it's like I would show up to the job and carry all this stuff from my personal life with me. So what I started to do is when I would put those glasses on, it's like I would leave that on the sideline, so to speak. And that's what it talks about in this book. A lot of athletes use this. So some of the most famous athletes or stars or musicians in the world use the alter ego effect. Of course, to name a few, you got David Bowie. He had Ziggy Stardust. You've got Eminem with Slim Shady. Todd Herman, the author of the book, he would also use glasses whenever he would embody his more business professional version of himself, to where he'd be able to step into that, because he felt smarter when he would have glasses on. So what he would do is he would wear these glasses to help him step into that version of himself. And then it got to a point where eventually he was able to do that naturally, just in his everyday life. He'd be able to show up as that version of himself. And Bo Jackson, he had a version of himself that he aligned with Jason, the killer, because he was able to basically what he was getting at was he was using that as a way to leave all of his emotions off the field. So he saw Jason as this emotionless, ruthless, killer, but what he saw in that was he was able to completely detach his emotions, of course. Like, Jason doesn't really have any emotions. He's just, I guess what we would consider like a monster. But what Bo Jackson needed was he needed to separate his emotions, and because he would often get in fights, he would just not be able to control his emotions. He would become so enraged and not be able to hold back on the field, so he would constantly be getting thrown out of the games. So whenever he shifted into this new alter ego of Jason, he was able to step into that and to leave all those emotions off the field. So just to recap, to create our alter ego, there are a few things that will help. First off, having the characteristics that we wish to embody. Could be from a person, could be from an animal, could be from a concept, whatever it may be. The next thing is to create a name for that alter ego. So a name is an identifier, and whenever we put a name to something, it helps us to identify and attach a certain set of characteristics and beliefs with that. So if you say somebody's name, somebody that you know, there's a certain belief or characteristics that you attach to that specific name. So whenever you create a name, it could be, from, it talks about in here, like being able to create different names. You could use different aspects, like the Incredible Hawk. You could combine that with like an animal. So the Incredible Cheetah or something, like depending on what characteristics you wish to embody and what you want to step into will help you to identify what name you wish to create. So creating your name for your alter ego, and then utilizing totems and items is the third thing to help you to step into and embody that. And a word of warning is to not carry this totem or use this totem all the time, to only use it for specific situations. Because if you do that, if you're constantly using this, then you're going to it's going to basically lose its power for you to be able to step into that. It's going to lose that essence, making it unique and specific to that alter ego. It would be just a regular item that you are utilizing, but it's not specific to your alter ego. So you want to make it specific. And lastly, I just want to talk, I don't think I mentioned, but focusing on what your origin story is with your alter ego, which is also important, and understanding our origin story with ourselves in our own lives, and understanding where we come from and how that is built up to who we are. So I'll touch more on that later, but I just wanted to give a quick drop here to help you to be able to step into that version of yourself. And like I said, I'm going to touch more on this concept a lot more in the future. I'm going to dive more into this book and talk about the more specifics. I'm going to incorporate other aspects of other books as well, and concepts and techniques that I've learned from various coaches and just various teachings. And I want to talk about, there's another book I want to parallel with this one that will help to further integrate your shadow. Also wanted to mention, for anybody that's interested, I do one-on-one coaching. So if you're interested in stepping into that fire and being able to take action, if you are tired of sitting on the sidelines and waiting for somebody or something to come along to help you to step into that, like you are waiting for the answer, but it's not coming, I'm going to help you to step into that fire and to step into that version of yourself and become who you've always wanted to become. So if you're interested in that, check out the link below. In the meantime, thank you so much, my friends, for being here. I am grateful for each and every one of you. I love all of you, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you. Peace, love, namaste.